The Joe Rogan Experience.
When you have these people that are working for the Russians, or even people that are working on the left that are trying, I mean, if there really is someone that's doing that to the Donald subreddit on Reddit, what do you do? If you're into free speech, you're supposed to allow that, right?
Well, you could just create a metric, or some sort of mechanism that red flags an account publicly.
Right, but I think this is where it gets slippery, right? Because then you're talking about an algorithm. You're talking about manipulating search results. You're talking about...
No, not that route. What I'm saying is...
not that route, but this is where it goes, right? If you just keep managing the content instead of just... Like someone like Gab,
right,
where they just let the content flow free.
Yeah.
But obviously you go there, there's a lot of dumpster fires, man. It's like fucking chaos when you do that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nothing's going to be perfect.
Right.
You know? I think whenever you see bad, that's good, right? Oh, yeah. Bad is a portal to good. It is an opportunity to fix something, because at some point that problem was going to emerge.
Right.
It just emerged now. So it's like, oh, wow, okay, here's this problem. The solution to every problem lies within the problem. So technically there is no problem. So let's just go ahead and solve this problem and move on to the next one, you know? But I love problems. I love solving problems. I think it's really fun. So when I see a problem, I go, okay, let's think about this. And sometimes it's not a one-person job. You know, it's a whole committee and a whole bunch of minds have to get together. So when I look at the conservative community, I think about, like, you know, all right, you have all these minds, but are your minds working to complain, or your minds working to solve the problem? And it seems like the minds aren't working to solve the problem. They're working to complain, right? So, for example, during the early 20th century, or early 1900s, this dude with this newspaper, super popular in New York. And he put some inflammatory things about a certain family in New York City. And all the department stores boycott the newspaper, so he has no advertisers. So they did that to put him out of business. And this gentleman takes the space and gives it to the proletariat, or the, you know, small business guys in the area. And he gives them full front page ads, right? Stuff that the department stores couldn't buy. And then what happened was, after the newspaper got it circulating like that, the department stores came back and they said, yo, all right, fine. We'll pay, we'll come back. And he said, no, I don't need you anymore. You know, I have people that can do this. I can do this with the people. And his newspaper was successful until the day he died. So when I look at that example that was able to thrive in 1920 or something, or 1910 or whatever it was, I look at it and I'm like, if this guy just stood on his laurels and didn't bow, you know, then why can't we do it as a nation or as a team, you know? I think it's very possible to, so for example, like when we look at Gab, right, there's a new competitor. I'm not going to mention the name, but it's like whoever it was, the establishment created this alternative platform to compete with Gab.
There's
on
another
purpose.
One?
Yeah.
You don't want to mention the name?
Nah, screw them.
Really?
Yeah, fuck them.
Why? What's bad about them?
Their establishment, right?
Oh.
So when I look at...
So establishment has created another free speech platform?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
They're just going to collect the data on these people and then, you know, sell it off.
What makes you think that?
Intuition. Hotep's been told you, you know.
You should make a shirt. That should be a shirt.
Oh, we got a shirt.
Hotep's been told you?
Yeah, that's our show.
Oh.
Yeah. Me and Uncle Hotep, that's our show every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, you know, I can kind of, I've been calling a lot of these shots and a lot of these things, and you know, it's just certain things that, you know, I'm a tech startup founder, right? So it's certain things I can see within a business that the average person can't see, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't look right. And then when you see, you know, as a tech startup, it's really hard to get going, right? At first, but when you see like MSNBC, and it's just like, how'd you get all this coverage that fast? Who do you know? You know what I mean? And then you start seeing the influencers that are going over there and pushing them, like, oh, these are all the established. I see what's going on. What you didn't want an alternative platform that you didn't control.
Okay, so they're creating an alternative platform that they can control. Air quotes, alternative.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I think the writing is on the wall, right? If they look at there's only one Twitter, there's only one Instagram, there's only one YouTube, and those are giant. And Facebook is basically the only thing like that, right? I mean, there's really no competitor to Facebook in that space.
I mean,
this is 4 of them.
They're all trash. Let's be honest.
Oh my goodness,
it's all trash.
Hotep is going off.
Facebook trash. I've been saying that for like the past decade. Facebook's trash. I stopped using Facebook a decade ago, right? If I used it, it was just like forced. You know what I mean?
use it as a publishing outlet. When I put tour dates or something like that, I put it on Facebook. I don't engage.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I can respect that. I don't use Instagram. I left it months ago when Farrakhan got kicked off the platform. A bunch of conservatives got kicked off the platform. I'm like, I don't need this shit neither. So I left. And also,
did you keep your account just in case?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's bookmarked. I got an automated bot I'm going to set up and
okay.
All that
there
stuff. Yeah. So, F these platforms. We don't need them. They're not that great. If you look at the story on Instagram, Instagram was a lucky project. It was serendipitous, right? Basically, what happened was some kids built a project. It was called Instagram. They were working on a whole bunch of other things. Some popular kids started using the platform. It blew up, and then they passed it on to Facebook. From the very inception, I said this is a very trash product. It's just horrible, horribly curated, right? It's so horribly curated that Facebook can't even monetize the platform properly, right? But that's a whole nother story. But the platform itself and its functionality is stupid. It's just popular.
Well, you know what's weird is like replying to people and reading replies like in the comments. Like you can't even keep up with anything.
No. And you can't get all your notifications. The notifications aren't curated properly. It's like as if they don't care, right? They don't care, right?
Is it that they don't care, or is it that it got so big so quick and it's stuck in this format? You'd have to kind of reformat the way it's...
They don't care.
You don't think so?
They don't care. They don't care. If you want to build a product for your user, you can do that. If you want to build a product for advertisers, you can do that. They built the product for advertisers and not for users. If they built it for users, you and I will be able to have a conversation on there.
Well, wasn't it Text America? Was that the same thing? Was Text America the original one? Ooh. That's the one where I have the picture of the prostitute in the bathroom.
I mean, like where you would text something to...
You'd send a photo. You send a photo and a text message,
it wasn't
and
like
it would go up to an internet website.
It would be like on a site like Imager or something, not like a feed where people would follow you like that, was it?
No, there was a thing that you would follow.
Oh, okay.
That's where that picture came from.
I know that, but I didn't remember it being like a website or anything like that.
That was back when there was no applications, man, because I took that from a flip phone.
Then that's the big deal. That's the difference. It wasn't on a phone or like a smartphone.
Yeah, there was no smartphones back then. And then you would have to go to a website to see all your photos. Yeah. So like you have a young Jamie Page on Text America and all the pictures that you had taken.
The first photos on Instagram, a lot of people you'd be like shit as a photographer, you'd be kind of like shit on if you weren't taking it with your iPhone only. And you were uploading DSLR photos, you'd be like, oh, you're fucking cheating. Look at you. Like that kind of shit.
Right, but now it filters. Like some of these girls, they look like cartoons. They don't even look like humans.
It comes down to is like, what's your kahunas, right? So, a lot of people told me, they was like, yo, you missing out on a lot of money on Facebook. You missing out on a lot of money on Instagram. My homie's a millionaire off of Instagram and Facebook advertising. And he told me about it. I'm like, yo, I'm not in this for money, bro. I got a message to get across, and I can't get it across on these platforms. They suck, right? But are you going to have the cojones to come and say, I'm choosing my morals over the money? Because there's a lot of people out here that are on the Facebook platform just for money. I spoke to a conservative influencer, and brother basically said, I'm trying to feed my daughter. But the stuff he's putting out on Facebook, he doesn't believe in.
So he's just doing it for profit.
He's doing it for profit.
Ooh, that's where it gets weird, right? Because then people are not going to believe you once you say, well, I was doing that for money, but now I'm telling you the truth.
But I'm talking about these are the people that everybody believes. These are the ones that have captured a large audience. I mean, talking about, the type of money you can pull in on Facebook. But, he literally says, I'll go on Twitter, I'll make one tweet, and then it'll get like 2,000 retweets. And then, his brand just blows up like that. But it's because he knows the buzzwords, right? He knows what to say to get the people going. I don't go that route. You know what I mean? If I don't like Facebook, I'm not going to use it. If I don't like Facebook, I'm not going to use Instagram. I'm just going to, stick with what I like. I like Twitter. And I told people in 2009 when I go in there, I'm Twitter. I deal in marketing. So I always say focus on one channel when it comes to social media. Just one channel. Unless you have the staff to manage. But
well, Twitter's how I found out about you. And that's all I found out about your videos. And I found out about you. I watched your videos. And if that didn't exist and the portal for the video, you're putting your videos on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how else would someone get their message out? If you think that these platforms are all trash, if they didn't exist, I wouldn't find out about you.
Twitter is great.
Twitter's great.
Remember, I've never mentioned Twitter.
I think you said all of them are trash, but
all of them except for Twitter. Twitter's my baby, man. I love Twitter. That's my.
What do you
girl.
like so much about Twitter?
It's a perfect platform to crowdsource information. Number one, right? Mm-hmm. Like you said, without Twitter, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I could have never got to you on Facebook or Instagram. That would have never happened. Maybe
Instagram. If a friend, most of it is like, hey, one of my friends says, check out this guy. This guy's cool. This guy's interesting.
Right.
Maybe you should talk to this guy.
Okay.
That's how it usually happens. And then I'll go to your page and I checked it out and I saw a lot of interesting conversations you were having and saw some videos.
Well, the thing is, Instagram doesn't allow you to see in my heart. They don't allow you to see in the soul. Twitter, I could really connect with people.
How come you can't do that on Instagram?
The algorithm, man. You know,
Oh, you mean because it hides stuff and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you develop a good following, it doesn't really matter. People will go to your page.
But how often
look for you?
But how often can you post
on Instagram? Yeah. How often can you post?
Like,
well, you can't do it like Twitter, where you can just do it every couple minutes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so if I wanted to, I could go from deep to where my middle-aged white women at.
Right.
In 15 minutes time.
Right.
You know, I can take you deep and then I can make you laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I can share, something else. I can share my video.
And you can have photos on Twitter just like you could have on Instagram if you really wanted to.
I can go live. Mm-hmm. And so Twitter is great at how they curate the live feature, right? Mm-hmm. It lands at the top of your phone on mobile, right? It's beautiful. Like they get product. I don't feel like Instagram gets product.